Hey everybody, we are here at Kings Hill Road. I'm just looking at the sign over there to make sure I'm saying it properly. Another one of Wollonga's hardest climbs. We've just come down Wollonga Hill, so it's not actually too far away from there. And it's about 3 kilometres, around 9%. It's sort of, I think a bit less, maybe 8, but it's got gravel in it, this one. So it's got gravel and bitumen. I think, fingers crossed, that the bitumen is where the steepest part is, so I'm hoping that the gravel isn't that dry gravelly stuff of 20%. So I don't know, we'll see. Tony's just sitting there. Tony. Tony's just sitting there going, You're going to get a head start, aren't you?
I'm going to get cracking now, so.
You're going to get a head start.
See you at the top.
It's beautiful out here though, isn't it? It's awesome.
Very nice.
Yeah. Alright, good luck. We'll pass you, maybe?
Yes, you'll pass me.
There he goes. So yeah, alright, so this is really cool. It's just so beautiful out here. I love it. And there's just all these different climbs when you just get out into these off the beaten path, the beaten roads, beaten track. And we get out here and we do these climbs. It's so much fun. Like, you've got to come out here and try it. And I don't think many females have tried it. So if you're a female and you're watching this, get out here. We need more girls cycling. Come on. Alright, let's do this. A bit of gravel, bit of bitumen, bit of gravel. Let's see how it goes. Okay, I am laughing because I've just watched through this footage and oh my goodness, this was just such a scary climb. And I was sitting here, I talk about actually I'm going to fast forward a big section of this just to get to the gnarly scary bits, and I've got Dan here with me, so he's the one that paces me, does the filming and understands all the stats, and it was the one who actually recommended we do this climb. So hey Dan.
Howdy.
So this, you forgot how bad you've ridden this Kings Hill once before.
Yeah, I've done it a couple of times and I sort of forgot conveniently quite how bad it was because I wanted you to do it and make it all the way up.
I'm so glad you didn't.
I was confident you could do that, you know.
I'm so glad you didn't tell me what I was in for. You were you underplayed it.
Yeah, well, I think sometimes you're better off finding yourself, in the challenge rather than fearing it before you even begin.
Yeah.
And psych yourself out that way.
Yeah. This is this one, and I think you said there's going to be bitumen, there's a bit of gravel and some bitumen, but the harder parts are bitumen. And this part here is so what gradient are we on here?
Well, the first 600 metres is, I think, listed at 12.5%, but that doesn't really explain what's happening there. I think you're doing about 20% at that point. So it's sort of the first couple of 100 metres just sort of roll easy, about 8 or 9%, and then all of a sudden you look up and you go, whoa, that's because it's a dead straight road, and it just rears up and gets up over 20% at one point.
It does, and so Tony went on ahead because he's got a 28 cassette on, and he's going to be a little bit slower. So I saw him up there, and he was zigzagging across the road. It
looked like he was going side to side.
Yeah.
It didn't even look like he was going forward. At that point.
And I was like, oh my goodness! And then I thought, oh, that looks crazy. And it's like I was a bit worried with him with a 28. It's pretty brave of him to go up there on a 28.
Yeah, at that point I was wishing that we'd just overtaken him, and you could see what we're talking about, because he was really, really battling, and I was thinking, wow, I hope he's okay and doesn't have to stop, because there's no clipping in.
You can't get back on that gradient. That was so steep, and that was we'd done a bit of hard riding just before doing this, so I was a bit cooked. It was quite a challenge getting up there actually. It was it was nice though, but seeing Tony zigzagging around. Shout out to you, Tony, if you're watching this.
He did very well.
Yeah. But it's a beautiful climb, and so the whole thing was how many kilometres?
3 kilometres about.
Yeah, so at the start, but that part that we've just come up was
I think we're about to hit the gravel now. You can see it gradually changing, and now so we're on the gravel, and the next probably 2.5 k's is gravel, and there's a few downhill bits, so it sort of drops the average gradient way down, but there's a lot of still bits well over 10% of gravel and it's not the best gravel, this bit here.
This is 18% on that sign there.
Yeah, that's warning cars about the downhill that's to come.
But this gravel was okay, because when we hit that gravel, I'm like, okay, this gravel's going to be all right. I can do this.
Yeah, well, it was a bit looser than what I thought. Hopefully, I was hoping it had been graded, because one of the other gravel roads we'd been on in the area had just been really smooth about half an hour earlier, and I thought, oh, if it's like that, we're in business, and maybe even that last bit won't be as bad as I remember, but it was.
I was just thinking, no, this is fine, I can ride gravel like this. So, but you guys have to keep watching, because it's not all like this, and it gets scarier. So, but actually, this is where we hit. I think this is where we come to Tony, just up here. Soon, is it?
At that point, you look like you're zooming along, but it is still pretty steep.
Yeah, he's Tony.
9 or 10%.
Actually, I'll just leave the, Dude, that was awesome. I'm trying to give you a pat. I'm telling you, I came up to Tony and I'm like, I wanted to give him a fist bump, and then I was like, oh no, hang on, I'll just pat him, and I'm like, and we're kind of going steep, it's gravel, and I'm like, and then I just, oh, that was funny, but it was just like, it was so like impressive that he did all of that on a 28, and then just, zooming away from him there. It's like, we'll see you at the top.
I think it heads downhill for a couple of, there's about 3 or 4 times that really drop the average gradient down to, well, it's still steep, 8%, but those little downhill bits really make the rest of the climb a whole lot harder than what the percentage shows. So we're in sort of the middle stages of the gravel now, and later on, you'll see what happens. The road really narrows, and
so scary. So, and this is nice. It's pretty. It's a good climb. And how popular is this? How many people have ridden? Like, is it a popular one around Willunga?
I think 160 people or so have done it on Strava, but it's not very popular. There's another one, Taylor's Hill, which is right next to Willunga, that more people have done. Yeah. And this is kind of the next one over in that direction, and not many people have discovered this one, or if they have, they probably never did it again after being on a road bike and having to walk. I
was going to say, I wonder how many people have done it on a road bike. Most people have probably been smart enough to do it on a gravel or a mountain bike, maybe. And actually, a lot of people do say that to me, Serafina, you got to get a gravel bike. It's time to get a gravel bike. But I do love the adventure of being on the roadie, doing the road right, like climbing, going fast, and then just zipping off and doing some gravel, and then coming back onto the road. So that's my my inspiration, my reason for not getting a gravel bike to do all of this, because I ride everywhere, so I like to be able to, and I love the challenge of riding road on gravel. I think that's an exciting, scary challenge, but this one took it to a whole new level, which you will see.
Yeah, well, there was a little short bitumen section there, but now we're back on the gravel, and I think you're racing downhill here, but then that must mean that we're coming towards the really tough section at the end, because it's very scary, even when you're going faster and have got some experience riding these tough gravel sections, because basically every metre as you're going along, there's a new obstacle, whether it be, you'll have to wait and see exactly how it looks. It's pretty awful.
Worse than you remember? I think.
I think I remember it being pretty bad, because I was happy with myself for making it, and I wasn't expecting it the first time I did it. Yeah. And I was going flat out that day, and then suddenly it's just you're just hit with this horrible surprise, and it's right near the end as well, so it sort of makes you, the whole thing at the end, it's like, if I have to walk here, all that effort's wasted. But we're coming up towards it now. I was going to say that you can see it changing. It's narrow. I think there's some signs. There's definitely signs at the end of the road, but I think there's signs, we passed it just a second ago, saying, 4-wheel drive vehicles only, summer track or something.
I remember reading that. It may not even be the sign there. I remember reading that and thinking, oh shit. Okay.
And you're rolling downhill here. It's already narrowed, but right after, it must be just after this downhill, suddenly it just snakes around. The surface just turns absolutely awful, and at the same moment, the gradient is up at like 20%, so it all just sort of happens at once, and you don't see it coming, because the rest of this road's not too bad.
And this is nice, like, because if it's all like this, it would be fine, and riding roadie on the gravel like this is fine, until it gets to these, and here you can see it starting to change even more. and the gravel's starting to get more gravelier and sort of looser, those sort of soft bits there, and then we're climbing as well, so you can see I'm just knuckling down. I think that's where you told me, you said stick to the right.
Yeah, I remember looking up ahead and thinking, okay, that middle section is just deep, like stones and ruts, and it's just there's nothing really safe there to ride. Your tyres will just get lost in that, and so we're sort of tight roping along on the very outside, which is technically the wrong side of the road, but the only other choice there would be if we're in the very middle there. But just when we entered that bit, the middle was just really loose and horrible. So yeah, we're just sort of I was looking and going, making it up as I went, and trying to commentate to you where it's safe to ride and just follow my wheel.
You were saying that, go and then go right. I think we go into the middle of the road
I think, at one point there, the safe spot on that side just completely disappeared, and I'm like, okay, it's over the middle now.
Yeah.
You can see on where we were riding, it just disappears there. So now we're sort of just going along almost like an island along in the middle of the road. And what's hard to tell from this, because there's nothing in the background to show, but this is the steepest part of the whole climb, apart from maybe that bitumen section at the start. So yeah, we're looking at probably 18% here at least for this whole little bit. And I think at that point I was pulling away from you without realising, and I couldn't.
Because you couldn't turn around.
I couldn't look around to see where you were.
Oh, there, I put my foot down because it just got us like going so slow. I was trying to navigate between these grooves, and it was like getting boggy, a bit loose gravel at the same. It was just really so much going on, and I think
you yelled out at that point. And I realised, okay, you're off.
Yeah.
And I'd sort of been like, you were right at the top of that bit, because as you can see now, I'm rolling downhill. And I'm like, we're nearly there. The finish line is literally just around the corner. And I'm trying to sort of give you a pep talk, like, get back on. You weren't doing your hardest effort on this, but it's still, I thought, we'll see what time you get anyway for next time to sort of motivate yourself if you're close to the QOM, which I think is just a nudge under 15.
Yeah.
And I got 17 here. I think you got 18 in the end because you walked a bit at the end as well and just sort of rolled over the line.
Yeah.
But you were only really sort of going 3/4 pace most of it. We were just chilling out.
But it was really, it is a matter of like overcoming the fear, like in your mind, and like having that resolve and that nerve just to keep going and to not give up. And I think here is where
There's another lump here.
This is where I stopped.
It's hard to tell on the camera there, but where you're riding along the middle there, basically, if you fall on either side, you're falling down about a foot.
Yeah, that's it there.
Worth of, so you're balancing.
Did you see there? That's where I stopped. I put my foot down, and that's where I walked from there. Because exactly what you've just said.
It's like a volcano or something.
Yeah.
Just like on either side, you can just fall down the side, slide straight down the side.
It was so scary, and I was like, balancing between these grooves, and it was really scary. And I'm like, no, and my legs gave way, and my nerve gave way. I was like, it was scary, and you're like trying to keep me going and pep talking me, and like
And that's once these yellow signs come up, that's pretty much where the end of the road is. And so I saw them, and I'm like, damn, we had it. You know, you were only 100, 200 metres from the end of the road when you came off there.
So here we go. Oh my God. That was horrible. It was horrible. I was so scared. And like, you know, you just want to keep going and you want to prove that you can do it, and you're just like, and it was just really scary. And I'm not afraid to show that on here because it was really scary, you know, like when you're just going up and it's got all these grooves in the ground. And it's really hard, and the back wheel's spinning out, and you just kind of try and navigate, and it's just, and then your legs start giving way, and it's like, you know, that was really hard. This motorbike go past. That was that, like it's not, you know, I like to think I can take the roadie on the gravel, but that one Kings Hill Road, that's scary. So if anyone's keen to try and take their roadie on gravel and prove, here comes Tony, let's see how he did. That was scary. I wiped my tears now.
Well, it was insane.
I ended in tears. I literally was in tears.
Scared?
Scared, yeah. And I just couldn't keep going, and I just like, in the pressure and like trying to like kick, and you know, Dan's trying to like tell me keep going, and it's just like,
No, it was very dangerous that last bit. Even I slid off down the gap.
Yeah, I got off. Like I couldn't. Yeah, did you come off?
No, I had to put a foot down and then took off again. But
yeah, same. Because it was just so scary.
Just to slip down the groove.
Yeah, because that's so deep.
Yeah.
That's so deep.
No, all good.
That was scary. It was
I wouldn't want to go down it, put it that way.
No. And yeah, so anyone who's like doing this, yeah, it's just it was scary. Like, and just the
The road's in poor condition.
it's very bad. Like even coming up to
I
it.
wouldn't recommend that one actually.
No, actually, yeah. Unless you're somebody like
Dan.
like Dan or Kim, yeah, you're the sort of people that would be doing this. But otherwise,
Well,
like
if you've got the right bike, a mountain bike, you'd be fine. But
Yeah.
doing it on a road bike is.
not unless you've got really strong legs, you're really comfortable, confident, and you can ride.
And you don't mind sliding.
And yeah, and knowing how to stop that back wheel spinning out and stuff like that. So
Actually, the bitumen piece when I was going up there, I was on the 28 because I was going so slow. Every time I powered on, the front wheel would lift up.
oh, that's good. Oh my God!
So I couldn't go any quicker
you did
because
so
as soon as I
well.
try and put some power on it, was just lift the front wheel off the ground.
You did so well because you were like going backwards and forwards
I had
across
to,
the
yeah.
road. And I'm just like, because I've got like Dan trying to make me go for these efforts, and so I'm like trying to like do that, and he's like, come on, and I'm like, no, I can't, like I can't, like, and I'm like,
you're doing 260 watts.
on the gravel, like he's saying, no, but he's like, but on the gravel, and he's like, come on, and it's like, no. So
Good
yeah,
effort, well done.
well done you.
You made it 98%.
So yeah, don't give this a go on your roadie. Right, we're gonna be heading back soon, but yeah, that was a scary challenge. Okay.
So back to Wollonga.